Learning English with English Faculties.
Hello, everyone. Okay, let's dive into this. Have you ever looked around your classroom, your home, or even your street and wondered exactly how we're able to talk about all the stuff we see? We use language to share our world, right? But to do that, we literally have to name everything. Every single thing you can look at, touch, feel, or even just think about has a name. And in the English language, these magical naming words are called nouns. So in today's explainer, we're going to explore this wonderful world of words and figure out exactly what a noun is. Don't worry, we're going to take it step by step and keep it very, very simple. Here is our roadmap for today. First, we'll answer the big question: what is a noun? Then we'll look at common and proper nouns. Third, concrete and abstract nouns. After that, countable and uncountable nouns. And finally, singular and plural nouns. All right, Section 1. What is a noun? The building blocks of language. Think of learning English kind of like building a toy house. To build that house, you need basic building blocks. Well, in language, to build a sentence, your most basic blocks are nouns. Without them, we honestly wouldn't even know who or what we're talking about. So here's our golden rule. A noun is a word that names a person, a place, an animal, a thing, or an idea. Just say that with me in your head: a person, a place, an animal, a thing, or an idea. Basically, if something exists in our world, it has a name, and that name is a noun. It's like a label we stick on everything so we can talk to our friends and family about it.
And this brilliantly illustrates what we mean using words you see every single day. For a person, words like teacher, boy, and girl are all nouns. For a place, your school is a noun, our beautiful country India is a noun, and the city you live in is a noun. What about animals? Yep, dog, cat, and cow are all nouns. And things, that delicious apple you eat, the book you read, and the pen you write with. Yes, those are absolutely all nouns too.
Let's move on to Section 2, common and proper nouns, general versus specific names. Let's move to and see how this builds. On one side, we have common nouns. These are just general names for any person, place, or thing. We write these with small letters, words like country, planet, or boy. But on the other side, we have proper nouns. These are special names for a very specific person, place, or thing. And because they are so special, they always start with a big capital letter. So while country is a common noun, India is a proper noun. While planet is common, Jupiter is proper. And while boy is common, Rahul is a proper noun. In fact, your own name is a proper noun, and that is exactly why you always write it with a capital letter. Okay, Section 3, concrete and abstract nouns, touching versus feeling. Now, I want you to really think about this for a second. Can you touch everything in the world? I mean, you can touch your desk, right? You can touch a tree, you can touch your notebook. But are there things in the world that exist, but you just can't hold them in your hand? Well, the answer is no. You absolutely cannot touch everything. And this brings us to the difference between concrete and abstract nouns. Concrete nouns are things you can use your 5 senses to experience. You can see them, hear them, smell them, or touch them. An apple is concrete because you can literally hold it and eat it. Water, a dog, a doorbell, all concrete. But abstract nouns, those are things you cannot touch or see. They live in our hearts and our minds. Words like happiness, courage, and truth. You totally know what happiness is, right? But you can't hold a piece of happiness in your hand. Here are some abstract nouns that we feel or think about every day. Happiness, when we play with our friends. Sadness, when we scrape our knee. Courage, when we do something brave. Truth, when we speak honestly. And danger, when we need to be careful. Even though we can't put these things in a physical box, they are 100% real, and the words we use to name them are still nouns. Moving right along to Section 4, countable and uncountable nouns. To count or not to count? Here's a kind of funny question for you. Can you count water? Imagine trying to say, I drank 1 water, then I drank 2 waters, and then I drank 3 waters. That sounds pretty silly, doesn't it? We can count glasses of water, sure, but we can't count the water itself. So the crucial point is this. We divide things into countable nouns and uncountable nouns. Countable nouns are exactly what they sound like, things you can count using numbers. 1 apple, 2 cats, 3 books. You can easily point at them and go 1, 2, 3. Uncountable nouns are things you just cannot count with numbers, like the water we just talked about, or rice. Can you imagine trying to count every single grain of rice on your dinner plate? No way, it's impossible. Tea is also uncountable.
You wouldn't say, give me 3 teas, you would just say, give me some tea.
And that brings us to section 5, singular and plural nouns, one versus many. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is just how simple the rule is for most words in English. To change a noun from singular, which just means one, to plural, which means many, you usually just add the letter S to the end. That's it. One cat becomes many cats. One apple becomes many apples. One dog becomes many dogs. Just popping an S on the end completely changes the number of things we are talking about. But as you might already know, the English language loves to be tricky sometimes. It definitely has some rule breakers. These are special, irregular words that do not use an S at the end to mean many. Take a look at these. If you have one, it's a child. But if you have many, you don't say childs, you say children. If you look at the bottom of your leg, you have 1 foot, but together you have 2 feet, not foots. And one little mouse running across the floor becomes many mice. You just have to practice and get to know these special rule breakers. We have covered so much ground today. We figured out that everything has a name, and those names are called nouns. We learned about proper nouns with their big capital letters, abstract nouns that we can only feel, uncountable things like rice, and how to magically change one thing into many. So, I want to leave you with a quick challenge. Look around your classroom or wherever you are sitting right now. The clock is ticking. How many nouns can you name in the next 10 seconds? The desk, the teacher, the window, the joy of learning, they are literally all nouns. Keep practicing, keep finding those naming words, and thank you so much for joining me on this explainer today.